Maniac Rob here from BoardGameManiacs, bring you a quick showcase video. Now what you see here is miniatures painted by me a long time ago, and I forgot to do a showcase video, so I thought I might as well do it now. This is miniatures off of the Warlord game called Project Z. It is a zombie-based apocalyptic skirmish game for 1 to 2 players. You can play 3 and even 4 players, but it is ideally built and designed for 2 players. So stand by and we'll go over the miniatures in a little more detail. With Project Z, they have a few different factions that you can choose from if you do play this game. They have the bikers, which is what we're looking at here, and they also have male survivors, they have female survivors, they have special ops too as well, and also they have zombies, of course, but the zombies is more of a mechanic, but another player can control the zombies if need be. Now, with this this biker faction, I should say, it is men and women. Some have bikes, some have companions on bikes, others are just lone drivers on bikes, as you can see as well, and you have different weapons that you can choose from. Now, what I learned from building these minis is it's like a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get kind of deal. So when you were building them, what I didn't know at the time is, you want to think of what weapons you want each of your gang members to have. Now, during a game, you don't use every one of these miniatures for your game, not at all. You maybe use 4, 3, or 2 is what they recommend. But again, you can customize the game. You can go a lot bigger if you want. Now, it's not based on point value for the miniatures, like most miniature tabletop games are. With Project Z, it's based onto the cards that you pick. So you pick the amount of cards you want to play with. So just hypothetically, you have a 3-card base per faction. So then, 3-card base, one of them cards could have like 4 bikers on it, or 3 bikers that are walkers, obviously. So then you get 3 or 4 of the figures. Now, I'm not going to go into the rule set too much onto how you play Project Z, because I'm going to actually shoot a battle report on playing Project Z, a solo mission, and then we're going to play doubles and so on and so forth. This is pretty much just pretty much like a showcase video that I'm doing here. So I'm just going to pull up the minis. We're going to go over a little bit more in detail. This is one of your gang members now. I equipped him with the shotgun. I'm not going to go over the details and specs of the weapons and that, but a shotgun can come in handy for sure. Now, if you can see him, I don't know if I can get in focus with him. Just bear with me here and I'll see if I can get a little bit better shot. Come on, get in focus, camera. There you go, it's a little better. So with him, again, I painted all of these bikers individually. Like, I didn't do what's just called like an assembly line painting on them. I gave them all different characteristics. Some of them have some facial hair and so forth. Same with the zombies. When I painted all the zombies, which you will see in another showcase, that each zombie is different. They're not all painted the same. But here's the front and back of just one of the gang members here. I said bikers. It's the same thing. It's just, again, just a gang member, biker kind of deal. He's got a do-rag onto him. He's got a little bit of hair onto his face. I don't know if you can see that. And he's carrying a nice little shotgun. And also, too, as well, with all of the bases, I kind of painted and texturized them to kind of match this game board that I built there. So it just, everything kind of matches up. So that is just one of the gangers right here. Here's a shot of one of the female gangers. Now, she's leaning on an axe. So these miniatures are actually half decent in their detail, and they weren't exactly super easy to put together when I built them first, because I bought this Project Z core game when it just came out, and they didn't even have the instructions on how to build them. Obviously arms go with arms go on, the upper body and the legs and so forth. But there's options that you can choose from. Again, when I built this, I didn't know what the options were, what would benefit me more. So I just pretty much built the way I thought would be cool, which there's nothing wrong with. But after playing a couple of rounds of the game and everything, you want to try to customize your army or your faction, I should say, so that you're going to get the most out of it. So again, she don't have a weapon, a gun or shotgun or anything that fires. She has a melee weapon. Now with that melee weapon, it is considered though in the game that even if somebody didn't have a melee weapon and they had a gun at close combat, it's considered they have like a knife or something. Now again, I'm not going to go over the rules in detail because I want to shoot a gameplay video onto that and go over all the rules. But I will say this about the game. It's a lot of fun. The mechanics with the zombies are really cool. It adds a lot of dimension to the gameplay for sure. So this here again is just a female survivor and she's holding an axe. She's leaning against it actually, you know, just hanging out waiting for some zombies to come by or somebody from a different faction so they can chop them up. So let's go on. Let's look at the biker now. Alright, here's two different bikers that I have. Now in the core box, I think you get 2 bikers. Now I bought pretty much almost all the expansions that you can get for this game. I'm not going to go over what expansions are. If you want to do that, you can just go to warlord.com, I think it is, or just warlordgames.com. Same company who makes like Bolt Action and so forth, and they'll have a section there for Project Z, and you can see all the expansion boxes and everything else that you can get. So with this guy right here, let's just talk about him first. This biker, again, you can get bikers that are driving by themselves, or you can have bikers that have a companion. Now, bikers who are driving by themselves, they cannot drive and shoot in the same turn. They can either do one or the other. But if you have a biker that has a companion, the driver can't shoot, but the companion certainly can. So that could be a benefit. But you want variation. You don't want to give them all companions. So you see this guy here, he's got like a scope with like a 44 possibly or a 45 caliber, driving a nice little blue bike. He's got some a sleeping bag onto it, and he's got some gas can going on, and you know, he's decked out so that he can be on the road for a while. And you know, in case he wants to leave the faction of the bikers, then they'll chase after him. But if he wants to go on his own for a while, he's got some supplies there so that he can go on the road. And again, with him, I did the base up just like the road for the board, and I painted some road lines onto it too as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And all these miniatures, I painted them all with the Citadel line paint. I do have Army Painter paint and everything else, but at the time when I did paint these, I did not have Army Painter, so I painted all with Citadel. And I also gave a little nice Nuln oil wash onto it too as well to give it some depth in that. I'm not going to go in detail about how I painted them and like painting tutorials and everything else. But if you have any questions, by all means, just comment down below, or you can email me at BoardGameManiacs@gmail.com, and I will be happy to try and answer your questions as best as I can. I'm no professional painter, but you know, I think they turned out pretty good for one of my first armies or factions that I ever painted. So I'm just going to grab this one now too, so I'm going to take a look at that. So you can see he's got a nice little biker helmet. He's got a little glow onto his headlight, and nice little companion. Now that companion, it's got a shotgun, not a shotgun, sorry, that's a rifle. So that rifle, there, it's in focus now. That looks like maybe a 30-30 Winchester. So in the game you have different stats for different weapons. So again, before you build them, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the whole video, that when you do build them, before you do, just think about which one, look at the stats, and then build it so that you can have a great kick-ass biker squad. There's another lone biker there. You know, he's bald, he shaved his head. He's got a nice little red bike. And on the front of it, if you can see there, it's kind of casting a little bit of a shadow, but he's got a chainsaw equipped to the front. Now, chainsaws are very, very awesome in this game for close combat. Just like probably any other tabletop game with a chainsaw, you're definitely going to do some damage into it. So that's another one, and you can see another biker and companion in the background. And then we have this one, which is a biker and companion. This here, biker and companion right here, that is the big kahuna of the biker faction, or the boss. They're the boss biker, actually. This guy is the head honcho, and he has a companion on the back. You know, this option, you don't have to put companions on the back. Again, you can choose not to. But one thing you want to consider, like I said, is if there's no companion, the motorbike or the biker can drive but not shoot, or shoot and not drive. You can do one or the other. But if you have a companion, you can drive and shoot. So if you notice on the front of the biker boss right there, he has a minigun. Yeah, now that can do some pretty good damage. You can cut some zombies or some like survivors down, no problem whatsoever. It's very powerful. And for the companion, if you look, the companion there, that is a rocket launcher or a bazooka. Now with that bazooka, it is a one-shot deal, which means you can only use it once during the game. But when you do it, you know, you can definitely do some damage. So I played a game before and I was the bikers, and I waited till my opponent kind of clustered all of the survivors together. And this got a pretty good, half-decent range onto it. So I just drove a little bit, and then I shot. And when I shot into the cluster, and I pretty much killed almost every one of them. So yeah, it can be very devastating. But that's your biker boss right there. There you go, folks. That's just a quick showcase video onto the biker faction, the gangs faction, the prospect faction, whatever you want to call it, for the Warlord game Project Z. This game, like, I can't say anything negative about it because it's so much fun. I've never had a game that I played with Project Z that I didn't like at all. So I could be playing it wrong too, but the way I'm playing it is according to what the rules say, and I love it. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this quick little showcase video onto the Project Z miniatures. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show some nice little close digital stills that are going to be attached to the end of this video. So you can enjoy those and look in the future for other showcase videos, especially for the Project Z, because I'm going to do one onto the survivors, the male survivors. And I'm also going to do one onto the special ops or spec ops, and I'm probably going to be doing the zombies too as well. You can't talk about Project Z for zombies and not show off the zombies at all. So until next time, just be a maniac.